Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Damaysi and today I want to share with you some of my healing journey. I have done many things to heal and clear trauma from childhood, and I'm going to share some of those things with you today. If you like this video, make sure that you like it, subscribe, and share it with some people that need healing as well. So I came to this country, to the United States, when I was 22 years old. And I came from Cuba. I was born and raised in Cuba, and one day I had the chance to hide in the engine room of a boat, and we did it, and I came to the United States. This was a long time ago. This was 22 years ago. I I had a good life. I couldn't complain really. And as the years went by, and as I got close to my 30s, I began to feel like just wasn't happy, but I didn't know why. I'm like, man, it could be my situation, it could be my finances, it could be that I'm not married yet. And then I get married, and I was still the same. So some of the things that I thought were going to quote unquote fix that deep sadness that I had wasn't fixing it. And as years went by, it got deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm sure if you're somebody in your 30s and 40s, you can relate to this. And if you're so, I know a lot of young people watch me on this channel. Like, you guys are from 18 to 24. It's a big part of my audience. So if you're going through something similar to this, it's good that you're watching this, because I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my experience and tell you why this is happening to you, so that you can tackle it now, and you don't have to wait until you're in your 30s and 40s where you're just in so much pain that it doesn't make any sense. And I'm so glad that I'm able to tell you now that you're young. Okay, so I began to really understand that something was messed up with me, but I didn't know what. And I got through my divorce in my 30s, and then I kept attracting situations to my life that were, I was very aware that something was, that I was the one attracting it, even though I didn't know the laws of the universe at the level that I do now. But I was like, I'm attracting the same guy over and over. He's just happens to be with a different face and name, but it's the same cycle. What the is going on? So the more I failed in relationships, the worse I felt, and it got increasingly more intense until the year 2000, right before the pandemic hit. I decided to go try ayahuasca. And I went by myself into this church in Orlando, Florida, and I did it. And my God, the first night that I did it, I couldn't really see much, because I was so afraid to let go, that the medicine really had to cleanse me out first. So I did a lot of purging, but I couldn't really see a lot of like past trauma. But the second night, which is Saturday night, I did, and I saw, apparently ayahuasca or any plant medicine is just working with you, right? So it's a medicine. It's just a plant that has properties that open your subconscious mind and open your memories. But really, you are an extension of this plant, right? You're an extension of this medicine. So it's really working with you, and your soul is the one that's determining which memories is going to show you. So I see this very, very, very bad traumatic memory, and I was like, first I was in shock, and I was like, no, this didn't happen. And then it's like, all the memories, all the feelings. It was like I was just right there. I was 5 years old, and I was like, wow, no wonder. And I processed it the most that I could. Ayahuasca is like 4 to 6 hours long, at least for me, because I'm sensitive. Some people in 2 hours, they're fine. But, I went home and I began to talk to a doctor from that church that was qualified to do post-medicine therapy. And it was rough for me. It was rough for me. It was rough for my mother. I had to tell her, hey, did you know that this happened? And she was like, oh, I remember something was kind of strange when I went to pick you up and blah, blah, blah. So here's the thing. what our little brain, when we're 5 years old, or a kid, or even a teenager, what our brain concludes about ourselves when something happens to us is what we take to adulthood as a belief system. Hear me out. So if the story that you tell yourself when you're 3, 4, 6 months old, whatever, is this is happening because I am not good enough. This is happening because I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of attention. I am not worthy of being seen or heard, or I am just completely disrespected or whatever. Then you take that to your teenage years, you keep attracting more trauma and more things, more people to do the same, something similar to you, more teenagers to bully you, and all that. And I'm not saying that if you were bullied, you attracted it. I don't want to get into that subject. I'm just saying bullies pick on the kids that are the sweetest and the nicest and the ones that are very quiet. And we usually, I was bullied, and we usually are very quiet because we already have been so conditioned to shut up and for the things that had happened. Does that make sense? So, but bullies are bullies, and they're gonna bully. So I'm not saying that this is something you attracted if you were bullied. I was very bullied for years. So that was my first time. Do you know how many ayahuascas I did after that? 9 more. I have done 10 ayahuasca ceremonies. They all showed me different trauma. I was like, I'm done, because like if I see one more thing, I just cannot handle it. So I've had to integrate, and I believe that we integrate for the rest of our lives. I've had to process and integrate, and this was all in 2020 and a little part of 2021, and I haven't done it anymore. We're almost, what we are in July 2022. And here's something I want to say to you that I learned the past couple of days from Casey. It's not sometimes about what our parents did to us, it's about what they did not do. And if they did not pay a lot of attention to us, if they didn't nurture us emotionally, even though we might have had everything materially, that emotional need was not met. And what do you think happens when you're an adult? You look for men that are going to meet that emotional need, and if your mom or dad or your family didn't take care of you financially, or you struggle a lot with money, you might have the tendency to look for people to take care of you. It's just a subconscious game. It's you're not even necessarily trying to do it on purpose. So what happens is we find men that are either narcissistic, or women. Like, I'm talking, when I say men, I don't mean, I mean the person that we're gonna mate with, that are narcissistic or codependent, or we become codependent and we want to fix and save everybody, which causes us to have adrenal fatigue, anxiety, depression, and sadness. Because guess what? What your mother and father could not fill in your soul, nobody else will. Only you will. And so now we gotta learn to reparent ourselves and to tell our inner child, I will never abandon you. I love you. I'm so sorry for abandoning you, because we have abandoned ourselves to go take care of other people. We have let go of our own safety and inner peace to go take care of that guy or that woman, sometimes people that we love very much in our family. But we have abandoned ourselves. So now it's like, okay, I'm so sorry for abandoning you. I'm so sorry for not listening. I'm so sorry for not seeing you or hearing you. I know you weren't seen or heard. And this is what's causing anxiety, depression, sudden bursts of rage, anger, depression, like I said, and insomnia sometimes, and eating disorders. So then once you begin that process, and this process is a lot deeper than this, and I do recommend that you find a coach that is trauma informed, you begin to heal deeply. And then all of the other issues that you may have in your health also begin to heal. And of course, you got to address, if you have, if you get blood work done and you see that things are off, obviously you need to take care of that stuff also physically. But it all roots back to our childhood, our parents, really. It all roots back to whoever took care of you, your grandma, your auntie, whoever had to take care of you. So the stories we tell as children to ourselves are the same stories that we carry into adulthood. And sometimes you're going to find women that are 45 years old, 50 years old, 35 years old, and they are immature emotionally. And I'm not judging, because hello, I'm still going through this process. Immature emotionally because we have not been taught how to deal with our emotions, because we were not heard. We were not even heard. We couldn't even express ourselves. Nobody was there to hear us. We tried to talk, and they like, whatever, like, shut up, or get out of the kitchen. You're gonna get burned. Get out of the kitchen. And it's not even our parents' fault 100%, because they were also not taught how to parent. They were not treated right. So to begin that process, you talk to yourself and you start giving yourself all of that love that you might be looking for in a man or a woman, or in your own children. If you had children, a lot of daughters that were raised by narcissistic mothers or parents that didn't pay attention to them, they now want to fill that hole with their children. And when the children grow up and want to get out of the house, they feel guilty, because they put this guilt on the kids of like, I need you, you can't leave. And it's like, no, don't do that to your kids. Do not do that to your kids. And if anything that I'm saying, you're doing it as a mother, you have become, without even probably even wanting to, you have become that mother. And but there's still, if you feel like you are someone that has made those mistakes, you could talk to your children and you can apologize, and you can go to therapy together and all of that. So after you speak with yourself, then the forgiveness process begins towards your parents, because I get a lot of resistance from some of my clients when it comes to forgiveness, because they think that they're letting those people off the hook. You're not letting them off the hook. What they did was deeply hurtful, and you didn't deserve it. However, you're letting yourself off the hook when you forgive. You're releasing them out of your body when you forgive. You didn't deserve it. I could tell you stories, and maybe I'll do separate videos about my ayahuasca experiences. Wow. Of all of the things that I experienced. And I'm not saying my family was bad. My family wasn't bad. I'm not saying that, but children make conclusions in their brain, and this is why so many teenagers commit suicide. They don't know how to deal with the emotions they're feeling, and their parents are not listening. So thank God I didn't commit suicide, but I thought about it in my 20s. I thought about it. I was like so depressed in some, and I always knew something is not adding up here. Something is not adding up here. My life on the outside seems to be okay. Why the hell do I feel like this constantly? So then after that, I have done 7 bufos. Bufo is a stronger psychedelic than ayahuasca, and it's something that you smoke. It's called 5-MeO DMT, and they have it now in synthetic form, so we don't have to necessarily get it from the frogs. And you can Google all of this. But Bufo is a stronger, much more stronger psychedelic, but it only acts for about 20 minutes. So you get 20 minutes in and out, you get the messages, and you don't have to sit there for a long time. And you don't purge either. Very rarely do you throw up. But with the Bufo, I have seen things differently, and I have healed so much more and so much faster. But even after all of that plant medicine, and after all of the meditation, the breath work, the journaling, the deep inner work, because the plant medicines are like a gate. They show you everything, right? They show you what happened. But then the integration part, the inner work part, the part where you have to forgive, cry it out, feel the feelings, because you don't heal what you don't feel. Feel the feelings, heal, journal, forgive. All of that is up to us. And if we don't do that part, you can do 75 ayahuascas, you're not gonna heal. You're not gonna, and I know people like that. They keep doing it, looking for the healing. Sister, the healing is in you. You have to do the work. Brother, the healing is in you. You have got to do the work. When you go home, can't just keep drinking the drink, thinking that it magically will just change you. There's a lot of trauma in each one of us, right? So, and if you grew up with amazing parents, good for you. Good for you. You're one of the blessed ones. So you forgive, you're letting yourself off the hook when you forgive, and then you begin the process of rebuilding yourself by telling yourself every day all the things that you need, all the things that you never heard, by doing for yourself the things that you were never done. It's sad, and I'm not gonna cry here, but I've cried for the last 2 days. Oh, because I was saying after all of that, I still had more. I still had more because the healing work is never done. And I read a book that was given to me by someone, and I was told you need to read it quick. And I read it in 2 days. It's called "Will I Ever Be Good Enough?" And I was like, do I really need to read this book? And then I was like, oh my God, because it's about the relationship between mothers and daughters. Very good book. So I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything that you want to add. But the beginning of freedom of your soul is to accept what happened in the past, accept that the things that were done to you were already done to you. There's nothing you can do. To feel the feelings, to grieve, let that inner child grieve, feel everything, and then give yourself everything that wasn't given to you. Take yourself out for a walk, pamper yourself, love yourself, journal, listen to yourself. If you start feeling any type of emotion like anger or discomfort or sadness, pause and ask yourself, what do you want to tell me? What is it that you want to tell me? And it's usually your inner child wanting attention, wanting to cry, it's sad. It's just you. This is you. This is part of you. And then after that, after you nurture yourself and let yourself know that you're never ever gonna abandon yourself, then also forgive them, let them go, let it go. They know what they did was not right. It will never be right, and they do not deserve to be left off the hook, probably. But you're still gonna do it for you because it releases you from the prison of unforgiveness, anger, rage, and resentment. This is it for today. I hope that this helped you, and I will see you on the next video.